Sir, nakapag-recommend na po ba yung economic team ninyo ng measures to address the spiraling prices of oil? And what have you approved?
Well, yung sa oil, yung patawid pasada is the first one. The next, I'm waiting for the details from agriculture. But it will, yung, di ba, parang tinatanong, paano yung mga nagpapatakbo ng makinarya, ginagamit na sakahan, tsaka ng mangingisda. So, meron tayong inputs, subsidy. Diretso na yung pagbili ng seeds, pagbili ng abono, kasama na rin yung pesticides, etc. Pero yung actual details are still yung implementing rules ang hinihintay natin. There is a fund already earmarked for this. 2 billion pesos for that. Ganda talaga pagkatabi ko yung Secretary of Budget, detalyado. No? 2 billion is earmarked for that, and this is another step. No? Yung, tapos, um, sa, they're actually doing a study now, yung presyo ng kuryente, for instance, no? Tinanong ko, yung mix natin sa generation, mga 9% lang galing sa krudo. Bakit nagiging dahilan pagtaas ng presyo ng kuryente, yung pagtaas ng krudo? Siyempre, 91% non-crude. No? So, ang sagot sa akin, there is supposed to be a law that pegs the price of natural gas which we use, no, more so, to the price of crude oil. So, pinag-aaralan yan dahil ano ba epekto doon sa revenues natin coming from Malampaya if we change that particular law, if we ask Congress to change it, yung maraming sanga-sanga yung magiging issues yan na kailangan pag-aralan muna. They're not yet ready. Sa agriculture ang hinihintay na natin.
Sir, follow up lang. Sir, may we know kung ilan yung beneficiaries ng 2 billion? Saka you mentioned kanina yung...
That's a detail that they're still working on. Alam, Joyce, yung kunyari sa napaliwanag naman namin, sa transportation, ang bibigyan natin ng pantawid pasada, hindi ba, yung mga may prangkisa, may katiyakan yan. Tapos yung sa tricycles naman, LGU na nagre-regulate, ang may alam rin. Ang gusto natin masigurado, itong lahat ng subsidies, hindi magkaroon ng leak, hindi ba, yung mapadpad kung saan-saan. So yung wala naman siguro yung prangkisa ng pagpatakbo ng yung bomba ng tubig, no? Yung hand tractor, hindi ko alam kung may prangkisa, malamang wala, hindi naman siguro license to travel the roads, etc., di ba? So paano mo isisigurado na hindi mapunta sa hindi naman kasama ng sektor na yan? Yun ang nagpapatagal doon sa proseso ng Department of Agriculture. Yung pagtitiyak na mapunta yung pakinabang sa may nangangailangan talaga.
Sir, you mentioned sa speech ninyo yung early release ng third tranche of salary increases. Saan, sir, sinors yung funding for that?
May savings tayo from the PS rin, no? Dati kasi parang nire-release yung tinatawag na dami na authorized ceiling, no? Personnel na ceiling. Ngayon, ang patakaran natin yung actually filled. No? So, yun ang i-release mo yung actually filled. So, yung wala doon pwesto, hindi mo kailangan bayaran, become savings. Yung savings can now fund the incremental increase in this next tranche. Again, we want to be precise. 2.8 billion. Increment. Yung portion kasi doon na nandun na, di ba, nasa PS budget na. Para kompleto lalo, 19.45 billion yung nandun na from SSL3. Yung increase is 2.8 billion.
Sir, clarify ko lang, ano po yung pinagkaiba nung 2 billion na we earmarked for the farmers dun sa 4.2 rice subsidy na binanggit nyo sa speech?
Yung rice subsidy, meron kasing, di ba dati nasa NFA to eh. At ang ginawa natin, imbis na nasa NFA, pinasa sa DSWD kasama ng National Household Targeting Survey. No? Para mapunta ito subsidy diretso doon sa mga may pangangailangan talaga. Imbis na yung parang ginawa, sa under NFA kasi magiging broad eh. Pwede hindi kasing may pangangailangan. Sa targeted, talagang hinahabol natin sino may poorest of the poor that will need the most subsidy. Yung 2 billion naman is farm inputs, yung pagtanim. Yung rice subsidy is actually rice already.
So mga bagong expenditures yun, sir? O yung 4 point
Parang
something was
pagkaintindi ko, this
previously?
was old expenditure, we are just spending it better.
Sir, tsaka isang dun sa wages lang, you mentioned na dapat i-fast track ng wage boards yung discussions. Do you think, sir, na dapat ma-resolve yung mga petitions in a month, 2 months, or within the year?
Yung sa NCR, kita mo naman, itong araw na to kompleto ang detalye natin. Sa NCR, there is already a supervening event. They have determined that there is a supervening event that takes care of the one-year moratorium between determination sa July. So, after the public hearing, we expect by next week that there will be a wage order for the NCR. Yung Region 6, they have also determined that there is a supervening event. Within the month, we expect them to issue the appropriate order. In Region 8, 2 years na pong walang wage increase, and within the month, we believe that they will also be able to complete the process for this. The rest will determine the presence of a supervening event within the month. So we assume that they will, what has happened in the NCR and in Region 6 also has happened as a supervening event in the other regions. So we will be pressing them to finalize everything, hopefully. We cannot promise that within the month everybody will be finished, but we will be pressing them to finish within the month.
Sir, now that si Mercy Gutierrez is on her way out, is the government now lining up cases against Mrs. Arroyo?
Alam naman niyo, yung Truth Commission was the one that was set up primarily to get all of that. But what was deposited with the Truth Commission is still intact. This is, di ba parang we're closer to actually filing charges where appropriate. Can I just say na mahirap naman sabihin directed on specific individuals at this point in time. There is still a process that has to be followed. But we will make the appropriate announcements of the cases that are ready for filing at the soonest possible time. The concentration now has to be on finding the ombudsman, and we're awaiting the JBC to produce the list of recommendees.
So parang once we have the new ombudsman, ano ba sir yung criteria that you're looking for in the new ombudsman, sir?
Mas siyempre yung ano man nireklamo natin doon sa old ombudsman. Gaano katagal ba yung, di ba issue natin sa adjudication of cases, 6 years. Hindi naman natin masasabing napakabilis nila kumilos. Parang yung kabaliktaran pa yata nangyari. Yung plea bargain, may mga rules, no? Kailan ba pwede offer to? Palagay namin, hindi sinunod yung mga patakaran. Yung, for instance, one of the criteria is yung weakness of evidence. Ngayon, yung pinoint out lang natin, one of our legal advisors, in the Garcia case, for instance, inaccuse siya of over 300 billion na plinander. Nag-alok siya. Parang voluntary, 120 plus millions. Plunder is 50 million. So, nung sinasabing mahina ebidensya, itong tao may isusoli sa gobyerno, di ba? Nalampas na doon sa trigger ng plunder, bakit niya isusoli? Inamin niya hindi sa kanya. Tapos sinabi nga nung dating mga membro ng ombudsman, pwede yung plea bargain dahil mahina ebidensya. So, baliktad na baliktad po doon sa katotohanan eh. So, ano hinahanap natin criteria? Siyempre, yung dedicated, yung may paninindigan, may tapang, may dunong, na para maisulong itong mga kasong to. Dahil sa tulong, pag may nagkasala sa taong bayan, di ba naman inaambisyon natin, magkaroon ng katiyakan ng kaparusahan. So, yung prosecutor, ang malaking bahagi na magkaroon tayo ng katarungan.
Okay, last question, Mia.
Sir, at the start of your speech, you already briefly mentioned this, but can we get your statement on Mayor Uy? And what directives have you given authorities regarding this?
Well, may political tensions pagkaintindi ko doon po sa kanilang probinsya. Meron yatang ongoing or there will be a recall campaign, no? And I understand that Mayor Uy was planning to run if a recall election would have prospered and then a subsequent election happened. No, the two people injured last night were the prospective governor and vice gubernatorial candidates, no? What are the directives? Immediately, there is syempre a tradition of violence in the Samar provinces. So we have directed Director General Raul Bacalso, no, to ensure that they clamp down on the entire province to prevent any more instances of violence. They have I think it's the RD already, the regional director who is heading the actual investigation to come to a solution for this. I pressed Raul Bacalso to ensure a speedy investigation, the arrest of the people behind this dastardly act. They were shot, I understand, while their heads were bowed in an invocation. Talagang yung treachery, yung bigat. No? Pero we don't want this violence to be the precursor of even more violence. So, I can assure the people of the province of Ray Uy that in the police will exert, together with the armed forces, will exert maximum efforts to ensure that there really will be a clampdown and there will be no more untoward incidents of violence. So I may take this opportunity also to emphasize to the regional director and the provincial director and the various chiefs of police that I am looking at them right now. No? And they had better perform.
Sir, considering that you've issued very strong statements against political violence, are you surprised that this happened under your administration?
That has been always a trouble spot, diba? That particular province. As I keep mentioning to everybody, we still have the same number of security forces in the country as was existing 25 years ago in EDSA. We have a doubling of the population. We cannot say that there is even the same density of police and soldiers that we had in EDSA. Now, we are working on that. We want them to become more efficient. We're trying to find ways and means whereby we can increase the number. The major inhibition to increasing their numbers has to deal with the pension, which is indexed to the current salaries. So, palaki ng palaki po yung pantustos at hindi makaya na estado yung pantustos ng buo do sa pension. They are not members of GSIS, for instance. No? So, sagot po ng national government yung lahat ng actual payments for their pensions. Now, hindi ba, parang even in the Garden of Eden, there was a crime. No. What I can only promise is, can I promise that there will be no more crimes? Hindi. Meron talagang mga taong ganun ang inclination. What I can promise is that the government will not stop in putting behind bars everybody who violates the laws. Sige. Siyempre, malakas ka sa akin talaga yan.
Sir, you mentioned also in your speech na TESDA, regarding yung TESDA vouchers, yung 2 billion, there a case is forthcoming. Will this be against the former TESDA chairman si Hugo?
Can I refer you to Joel Villanueva to file, to give you the necessary details? But that is my understanding. Bago siya mag-issue ng panibagong vouchers for scholarships that they should give, siyempre ang daming institutions na sabi niya sa akin last time kung may nakita about 2 billion. When they started the inventory, it was 1.3 billion. Hindi pa nababayaran yun. Sino tatanggap ng panibagong voucher nila? At ang laki ng epekto nun doon sa readiness natin matrain yung ating mga kababayan to find other jobs, no? Number one. The other aspect is, ambisyon din natin na kung high school, meron na ring marketable skill kung sakasakaling hindi makapagpatuloy sa college dahil nga sa ngayon parang lalabing 4 lang kada 100 ang nakakatapos ng college. Tapos bigla na yung sa ngayon ng gobyerno na siyang dapat mag-asikaso nito, talagang nilumpo. No? Yung wala siyang kakayahan dahil nga yung ginastos walang appropriations. So yung appropriations ngayon biglang hinahabol ng pambayad do sa iginastos na walang kadahilanan at walang karapatan na dapat na ginastos, di ba? So there has to be a reckoning for this.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Happy Sunday sa inyo lahat.